So I've seen a lot of posts lately regarding Roblox and concern growing over children being subject to predatory adults. And I love, first off, that parents are getting involved in a lot of what their kids are doing. I mean, look, a lot of our kids game. And for those parents who don't game, it's kind of hard to understand. You probably are just like, yeah, I'll just let my kid do his thing and whatever. But as somebody who is a gamer, I have to tell you, and you may not like this, this exists, this behavior exists in pretty much any single game. You know, aside from gaming, it's a virtual way for people to get in touch with one another. I mean, look at what happened during the pandemic. The only way for us to really connect with one another was over the internet, and using tools. People may not have thought about gaming as one of these tools, but yeah, in fact, that's why a lot of people actually do game, is so that they have a connection. If they don't go out of the house, there's a lot of people who may be handicapped, or I don't know. I'm a loss for words right now. But there's a lot of retirees. There's a lot of you know, military individuals. This is another form of a way for people to get in touch with one another. So this is not a foreign concept. The other thing is, you know, we do have to be involved in what our kids are doing. And even though as a parent, you may not understand exactly anything about gaming, but you have to understand, anytime your child gets in front of the game and it involves other people, you have to listen. You have to get involved. I mean, once a kid puts that headset over their ears, you don't know what's being said. And I can tell you, as a gamer, it can be extremely toxic. Just aside from the predatory behaviors, gaming can be extremely toxic, and that's why we need to change the culture of it. And it's something that's concerned me for a long time. I'm a mother. I'm a mother, and my daughter loves gaming and she's amazing at it. But I have to tell you this experience that she had. She was playing Minecraft, okay? And well, actually, let me take it a step back. I remember she was about 4 years old, and I was playing World of Warcraft, and she came over to me and said, "Mommy, can I play this game?" And I said, "No." And she, you know, she's little. She doesn't get it. But she thought it was really cool that you could run around and you can have pets. So I said, okay. I took her, she sat on my lap. We said, all right, let's create a character together. So for the first time, she created a character. And it was a horde hunter with a spider, and she was very much into zombies and loved that kind of stuff. We are big horror fanatics in this house. So she makes her little zombie pet, and she just proceeds to run around and run around because she's an innocent child. That is what they do in this game. They just want to run around and they see cool things and they want to play the game, okay? But as she got older, she didn't play World of Warcraft. She didn't understand. I mean, you know, she played more console games with her father, but you know, as she got older, she would say, "Mommy, can I make a new character on World of Warcraft?" And I said, okay, let's make a character together. So I always did it with her. She was always playing games either with myself or her father. So she was never, you know, just doing her own thing when she was little. And so she made a character, and I said, I'm going to explain to you a few things, knowing how World of Warcraft can be. I said, you may get messages. If those messages come to you and they are written in pink, you do not respond to them. You ignore them. And I told her, if somebody starts to type to her or talk to her, do not respond. And then I also told her, you are in this little area. There's this one map on the Alliance side called Stormwind. It's a main city. I said, you are not to leave this main city. So what I did was I walked her through the little city and showed her all the cool things. And you know, all that kid did when she ran around, I know this sounds really bad, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to do this. And I was grateful that she was a child that listened to her mother. She would go to this little area that you could talk to an NPC and ride a griffin around the harbor. And that is what that kid would do. She would ride the little griffin around the harbor. She would run around the little shops, and she would not talk to anybody. And I also explained to her, because a lot of times in World of Warcraft, you will get invited to guilds You don't know. They're just trying to recruit people. They don't know what, like, you should be like of a certain age, right? When you're playing that game, you should be. But I'll tell you, there's no way to really track that unless somebody reports you and whatever. So I told her, I'm like, if somebody invites you to a guild, you hit this button that says decline. You do not join it. So knowing up front what could possibly happen in that game, and that's just one small part of it, I had to draw those lines immediately right there. And that is how we set the guidelines. And lucky for me, like, we keep the communication lines very open in our house. But look, that's not the situation I want to talk to you about. As she got older, she wanted to play games like Minecraft, which I was absolutely fine with. And so she did. So I don't know a whole lot about Minecraft, except that I know how to destroy things and put torches up. That's literally all I know. And I'm telling you, like, it is very boring for me. Don't come for me. But you know, she would make friends, and I'll be honest, I did not always know what was going on because I didn't understand the game. So she was making these friends like across different states and whatever, and like I didn't know the you know, how far into these communications she was getting. That was like bad on my part. But, you know, she would say, Mommy, you know, I want to join this private server. This is high pixel. Here's what I need. And I would like, all right. So I'd sit there and I'd watch her. And, you know, just like any gaming chat, there's like, you know, chat that just scrolls and scrolls. And, you know, some people are nice. Some people are just nasty and toxic. And that's, again, the nature of anonymity in gaming, is that you are a keyboard warrior, essentially. And you can say and do what you want. You can say and do whatever you want. I don't even know what words are forming in my mouth. Essentially, you think it's okay, but no ramifications. Nobody can see you. Like, people don't know who you are. You can treat somebody like a big piece of garbage if you wanted to. And the sad thing about that specific game is there's really no tools in place, no really good reporting mechanisms, especially if you join a private server. It is a private server. So unless you are very trusting, and children don't understand this, kids really don't get it a lot of times. And then maybe after a while they do, once they start playing for a while. But a lot of these private servers, unless they are founded with moderators that are very good and trusting, and they know how to put rules in place. I mean, you're talking about kids creating servers for kids. So like, you know, you don't know what you don't know. Okay. But you know, there's good and there's bad, because there's you know, they start to meet kids their age and this and that, and then whatever. The big issue, besides being in game and not enough reporting mechanisms, and again, this is in every single game. Okay, I know I'm like going left, right, middle field. These developers and these game companies need to do a better job at making their games safe, because they are the problem is they are extremely reliant on the player, on the user, to utilize and understand how to use the reporting mechanisms. And I will tell you this, Blizzard Activision, okay? I would see people get bullied in the game and get mass reported by people if they, you know, if somebody didn't like you, you had to worry about getting mass reported, losing your rights to a game, okay? That is a broken ass reporting mechanism, because you are already guilty before proven innocent in a lot of times, and you just automatically get banned. And then it takes a while for them to look into your account, and they determine whether or not, you know, you did something wrong. You may get like a, you know, a 24-hour ban, 48-hour ban, 30-day ban, whatever it is. The thing is, you can make multiple accounts. You can make multiple characters. Like, you can make trial accounts every single day with multiple different emails. Okay, so it doesn't stop people from doing those things. If somebody is a bad seed, they're a bad seed, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get on that game and be a bad seed. So I'm going to tell you, we cannot depend on these developers to put the proper reporting mechanisms in place. At the end of the day, it is up to us to bring up good human beings into this world. And that is wild and crazy, right? Kids don't really understand how to socialize a lot of times. You know, if they have a bad home, they're going to take it out on somebody else. It's just like if they were to do it in person, but more volatile online because you don't have a face associated with it. So the only way to be able to really like stop all of these nasty behaviors and toxicity in gaming is to have those talks with our kids about being a good, kind human. And you can imagine how hard that is. Look at the issues we have just politically. Everybody is either left or right, and that is just not the facts, okay? Like, people reside in the middle. So there's never going to be a point where we can all come together. But if we are able to raise kids to be kind and proper, and I say proper, but like just treat people kindly, and if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it. We need to do more of that. And until we start to do that, we're not going to see change. Anyways, I went down left field because I was trying to talk about predatory behaviors and I totally didn't talk about the story. So here's the story that I want to tell you. One day my daughter was playing Minecraft and she was on a private server with friends. And I guess there's, a Hypixel, whatever. They're not all friends, but like people can like pay to have like I don't know how it works. Okay. Like, I don't know freaking Minecraft. All right. I just don't. But this was apparently a pretty popular server. And, she had actually gone in there, met a bunch of new friends, which is really great. But then there was somebody that was sending messages to people. They were private messaging people. And, when you have a child that they're not quite like, they don't really know how to like interact with people. They're wholesome and they're friendly and they want to be nice to people and they want to make friends. Like, that's just nature. That's just naturally what these kids want to do, is they just want to go and they want to have a good time and they want to enjoy their game with their friends and maybe make some new friends in the process. That's like beautiful. It's beautiful. But then there's always this disgusting people that want to ruin it. So I'll never forget, she like ran into my room and she was crying and I said, what happened? And she said, well, I was just playing Minecraft and somebody messaged me. I said, well, what did they say to you? Do you know this person? No, I don't know this person. I'm like, well, what's the username? So she tells me the username. But I said, well, what did this person say to you? Well, this person asked me to take pictures of myself in my underwear and send it to them. And the person wouldn't stop it. They would keep messaging her. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? She was just so scared and beside herself, she didn't even want to play the game again. And I said, well, what is this username? So I went on the computer with her and we went to find this username. Lo and behold, by the way, they had deleted their account. So here is the fucking problem, okay? These people can create and delete accounts just all over the place. And then as we were looking into reporting mechanisms, there was no way to report this person. And here's the other thing, like, kids don't really know this. They're just logging onto a game to play it and not really understanding, hey, here's all the tools that need to happen. So here's the bigger thing that we need to do with our kids if they are going to be playing games. Make them okay with reporting toxic behavior. Teach them how they need to report said toxic behavior. Teach them how to take screenshots. Okay? Now it's easier than ever to be able to like pick up a phone if you have one and take a picture of it. It's really hard. And unfortunately, a lot of these tools that are put in place by a lot of these game developers are very basic. You report somebody for, I don't know, going AFK, whoopity-doo-dah, like, and you don't hear much about your report. You don't even know, is there a human being picking up my report and like reading it and actually looking into it? Like, the truth is, a lot of these companies just don't put enough manpower into it. They just don't. So it's really up to us to really take it into our hands and really get ourselves involved in what our kids are doing. Because if we don't do that, they're going to be lost, and this is just going to keep happening over and over and over again. Needless to say, my daughter does have friends. She did start to play Minecraft again, but she only plays with specific friends now. Obviously she's older, but it was very scary, and she was so traumatized over that. Of course she didn't send any pictures, but she was so scared. And I was just like, as a parent, you're beside yourself, because what can you do? What can you do? The account is gone. You have nowhere, there's no reporting mechanism for you to report it. And you have a traumatized kid now who is very scared at now talking to anybody. And part of me is like, well, good. Don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to fucking strangers in person. Don't talk to strangers on the internet. Okay. End of story. But that's, you know, part of playing games is making new friends that have the same hobby as you. So it's like, you know, it's really hard. So I guess at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, you know, gaming might seem like a foreign concept to a lot of parents, and it might be easy to just, you know, shove an iPad or a controller in your kids', you know, hands and just say, all right, get out of here and like do your thing. But really listen to them. Listen to them. A lot of these voice chats are like open lobbies, and people feel like they can say anything to anybody. So I highly recommend that if your kids are playing and they do get into a voice chat, that they do it without a headset and you can hear what's going on. It's really important. And teach your kids to stick up for themselves. I'm not saying they have to curse and yell at somebody, but they can say, stop talking to me that way. They can mute people. There's different ways to kind of like, you know, at least temporarily put a band-aid on it until we can actually report things. And, you know, these gaming developer companies, we cannot trust them to do the right thing for our kids. So it's really important as a parent to just get yourself involved and listen to what's happening. And especially if you're a gaming parent, you get it. You get it. You're probably on top of this. So, you know, to all my gaming parents out there, if there's something we can do to help these other parents who it might be a foreign concept to, look, I want you to know that I'm a resource for that, and I'm happy to help any way that I can. And all of us gaming parents, we get it, we understand it. So you know, if you want a little tips and tricks, come to us, and we'll do what we can to help. But really, like, listen to your kids and find out who they play with, and listen to what they're talking about. Because sometimes, you know, it happens all the time. These kids get into these lobbies. You don't know. There's no age restrictions. Okay. A lot of these kids are playing, you know, games that they probably shouldn't be playing. So, there's going to be adults, you know, they don't, and not all adults care if there's a kid on the other. They're not going to change their behavior. So you just have to be on high alert. That's all. All right. Have a great day. Bye.